Let's make a gorgeous fall swag for the front door. For this DIY, I'm using 3 styrofoam balls, 2 larger ones and 1 slightly smaller one. And I'm going to be using lots of beautiful fall florals, all of which I got at the dollar store. I'm cutting off all of my flowers and poking them into the styrofoam balls. For this first ball, I'm adding a lot of these beautiful yellowish orange flowers, and I'm adding a bunch of them all around the ball. Now I'm going in with these darker orange flowers that also have some leaves attached to them. And I'm poking these into my styrofoam ball. Now I'm gathering more orange florals and fun autumnal leaves, and I'm cutting them off and poking them into the styrofoam ball. I also have a few leaves that have some little fall-ish berries and acorns on them, which add some really fun details. And I'm adding all of these to the ball until it's all filled up. Some of the leaves needed hot gluing since they didn't necessarily have stems that worked well for poking into the styrofoam. So I'm adding bits of hot glue, then pressing my fall florals onto the styrofoam ball. I'm trying to make sure all parts of the ball are covered up with beautiful florals and leaves. Now my first styrofoam ball is complete. Moving on to the next one, now I'm working on the smaller styrofoam ball. And for this one, I'm using this gorgeous fall bouquet from the dollar store that has lots of reds and oranges and yellows on it. And again, I'm cutting off each of the flowers and leaves and either poking them into the ball or hot gluing them in place. I'm also adding in gorgeous leaves in yellows, greens, oranges, and reds. As you've seen, I'm using my hot glue gun to stick some of my fall elements onto the styrofoam ball, but I'm also using the hot glue gun to help arrange my leaves and flowers exactly how I want them to be on the ball. For example, if it's sticking out quite a bit and I want it to lay a little bit flatter, or I want one of the leaves on top of the other one, that kind of a thing, you can use hot glue to get it exactly where you want everything to be. Now moving on to my last styrofoam ball. This is again one of the larger ones, since I have the 2 larger ones and 1 slightly smaller one. You can use whatever size styrofoam balls you can find or you like. I found once it was finished, the slightly smaller ball wasn't super noticeable that it was a different size. So if you can only find 3 that are all the same, then that would work just fine. For this smaller ball, I'm focusing a lot on leaves. So I'm cutting off lots of orange, yellow, and red leaves and hot gluing them onto the ball or poking them into the styrofoam. A few of my leaf bunches also have little acorns on them, which I think is so cute and it definitely adds to it. So I'm putting those on as well. In addition to my leaves, I'm also making sure to add in a few big flowers. I have a gorgeous red one as well as this orangey red sunflower. And I'm adding a few of these flowers in different spots around the ball. Again, I'm using my hot glue gun to get everything laying exactly how I want it to be. Now I'm using this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. I am pulling off the lace and cutting 3 strips of this burlap. I want each of the 3 balls to be hanging at different heights on my front door. So I'm cutting 3 strips of burlap that are different lengths, a shorter one, a longer one, and the longest one. Now I'm hot gluing the burlap ribbon onto my styrofoam balls. I'm putting some hot glue on the styrofoam, then sticking the end of the burlap onto the hot glue. And I'm doing this for each of the 3 balls. Before you glue the ribbon onto the balls, make sure to hold up each of them and turn them all around to figure out where you want the top and the front to be for each of the styrofoam balls. Once the burlap ribbon is all glued onto each of them, now you can go in with more leaves or flowers and fill in any gaps that need filling in. Now I'm gathering the 3 ribbons together and tying a twist tie around them. And I did this a little ways up from the top ball. I moved the shortest ribbon out of the way. This is going to be where our hanger is going to be. Then I'm using the other 2 ribbons to make a bow. So you can see I'm making 3 loops, 1 in the center and 2 larger ones on the sides. And you could use floral wire or a pipe cleaner to hold the bow together. Today I'm using a hair elastic because that's what I had on hand. And I tied it around my bow. I'm adjusting the bow a little bit with my fingers to get the exact shape that I want and to get the loops the right size. And for the top of the swag, I'm using one of these wooden rings. I wanted the ring to be covered in burlap to match the burlap ribbon pieces hanging down. So I cut a little piece of burlap and I'm hot gluing it around the ring. This has to be done in small sections. So I glued part of it on and cut it off. Then I'm adding more hot glue onto the ring and folding over the burlap. I left the bottom of the wooden ring empty. And now I'm adding hot glue to it and gluing the end of my ribbon that is attached to the fall swag onto the wooden ring. Now I'm adding some hot glue onto my twist tie. Then I'm taking one side of the ribbon tail, wrapping it around, then adding another dot of hot glue and wrapping it around again. Adding another bit of hot glue on the folded over ribbon part, then more hot glue up near where the elastic is, and pressing the ribbon up there, adding some more hot glue on the back there. And this is where the hanger for our fall swag will be. I want the bow to be closer to the top where the hanger is, so I twisted around the burlap and I'm hot gluing it to the back of the bow so that wooden ring is closer to the bow. Now I'm cutting off the tails so they are even. And this is our finished fall swag door hanging. This turned out so much better than I ever thought. I love it so much. It is really the easiest thing to do, but it looks so impressive and was so much fun to make. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.